Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the Here's the Thing podcast, where myself, Liam, and my co-host Cooper talk about anything and everything. How's it going, bro?
I'm going pretty well, man. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Just tired, we had work. We worked together.
We did, yes.
We do work together. What, is that meant to be
No,
a secret?
No, I'm his boss.
He is my boss.
But
we're
equals.
Business partners in this venture.
Yeah. Not romantic ones.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on last week's episode? You liked it? Had fun?
I mean, last week, obviously, it was our first time doing it. We sort of just jumped straight into it. But I think we did pretty well. We know it was pretty long. A lot of people have given us that feedback. So this week should hopefully be a bit shorter.
Will definitely be shorter.
We both just had a lot of things to say about The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Real quickly, just a big shout out to everyone who listened, watched, followed the Insta, subscribed, TikToks, all of that stuff.
Yeah, real ones.
The first episode is over 250 views in a week,
which is not bad for the first.
Really, really good in my
anything.
opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had that YouTube short that got 2,000 views, which is small numbers, but we're happy
for
about
one
it.
video.
We weren't expecting it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's a good thing. Also, as of this episode airing, we are now also officially on Spotify.
Exactly.
Should just be Here's the Thing, but if it's not, just check the description of this video and you'll see a link to the Spotify page. Give us a listen on Spotify. If YouTube's not your thing, that's fine as well.
Yeah,
So I guess without further ado, here's the thing about Bring Her Back. Among other things. That's not going to be the whole episode because we don't have over an hour of things
we
to
do
say
not have
about
over an
that
hour.
movie.
I mean, it's an amazing movie.
Great movie. We'll get into it a bit later.
Exactly.
I guess we should start off with how has your week been since last time we recorded?
It's been good.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
It's been 8 days since we recorded the last episode.
Yeah, exactly. So it hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting seeing like going back and like listening to the podcast, doing these clips and stuff.
Yeah.
It's been fun. I don't know. I haven't really been obviously we're checking it, but I haven't been focused on the views as much as just the process of it.
Yeah. The process is actually
it's genuinely fun. Yeah.
I was sitting there with a smile on my face, and I was a part of the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then Tech Guy, he didn't vape for the whole time.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Which you guys don't know Tech Guy, but that's a big deal for him.
Tech Guy has more mango ice in his lungs than air sometimes, so it's very much of an accomplishment.
And what else did we get up to? Well, let's go day by day.
Day
so the
by
day
day.
after we filmed our first episode, what did we did we do anything?
I've got no fucking idea.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Did we have a party? Yes, we had this.
That was over the weekend.
Yeah, but
on Thursday, we went and watched a movie.
Did we? Oh yes, Bring Her Back.
We watched
did.
Bring Her Back,
and it fucking terrified me.
It was a great film. Again, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we will
A little bit later. Actually, do we do that first and then the other stuff?
Well.
No. We'll get into our analytical mode later.
Yeah, so right now I'm just
we both liked the movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
Friday.
Friday.
Did we have anything on Friday?
I think I had work and you had work.
Yeah, we both had work, and then obviously Saturday was our friend's 21st birthday. Some of you
may know him.
Watching may know who we're talking about. We're not going to name drop because we're not going to dox our fans.
Yeah.
But
plus, he's more famous than us. We don't want him taking away.
He's actually a rapper.
We don't want him taking away our fame.
Yeah. But that was an amazing party. We had a great time. Their family was so welcoming and great food, spicy food. But good food nonetheless.
Very
good company, good people there. Potential podcast guests.
Yes,
you know who you are.
We were networking.
Our DMs are open.
Exactly. If you want to hop on, just message us, and then we'll.
We do have some funny stories from that night, but I think we'll tell those maybe a bit later down the line. It'll be better when the people that are a part of those stories are on this couch.
Exactly.
That'll be a bit better.
Yeah.
Something we should probably point out. Very different set.
Yeah.
For this week. Where we recorded last week was unfortunately unavailable, but we are in a different set.
Yeah.
No whiteboard, but maybe with the magic of editing, I'm actually touching something right now.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And we do have Teddy at least.
Yeah.
So
should we name him right now or her?
Let's call him Oliver.
Oliver?
After Oliver.
Ollie from Bring Her Back.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Straight
We
away.
should. Do we have a bring her back timer for this episode or no?
Bring her back time.
Like
How
countdown,
many
yeah.
times we say?
Oh yeah. By the way,
Bring
you
her
didn't
back?
see the description of the last one. The amount of
We
time you
said,
said in the game was 42.
42, which
But it
is
was
a lot.
honestly probably more because like I was like trying my best to like keep track, but I genuinely think we said it like at least 60 times. But you know,
100%.
it's okay. That was last week.
Yep.
We're in a new
Did we
era
do
now.
any? Sunday we just had I had a recovery day.
Sunday.
Just rested all day.
I think I did as well. I don't think I did anything else.
There are quick things I want to touch on in the that's been happening in the television landscape that you might not be too knowledgeable on.
Probably not, but
But first was Doctor Who, which I'm a big avid Doctor Who fan. I don't think this is gonna be very quick. I don't think the most recent reboot of the series has been that good at all. I think there's been maybe 4 good episodes out of the 16 that we got, and I think Ncuti Gatwa was a decent Doctor, but his writing was not great. They didn't give him a personality, which is really... The Doctor needs to have a distinctive personality, otherwise it doesn't really feel like the Doctor. He just felt like... It felt like anyone could be playing his Doctor, which is a bit sad, because I really do like him as an actor. He's great in Sex Education. And then regenerated into Billie Piper, which doesn't make... Well, actually, it doesn't. Billie Piper. So Billie Piper is an actress. She played, when the Doctor Who first got rebooted, she played his first companion, Rose. So Rose then became, there's this thing called Bad Wolf, which is like a whole plot line, which I'm not going to get into, but essentially she became like this entity outside of existence. And then, so the Doctor regenerating into her face, because it's not Rose is the Doctor now, it's just the same actress. Same thing when David Tennant came back for the 14th Doctor. It wasn't 10,
actually him.
It was 14.
Yeah.
Just same face. Which there's a whole thing, something about, I'm going to spiel for a little bit. Something about the 12th Doctor's, Peter Capaldi's thing that was really interesting is they kind of established that when he regenerates, he can't, not he, the Doctor isn't a he, but you know what I mean. The Doctor like gets to sort of pick the face, they choose their face, but it's also based sort of off their own subconscious like reflection. And with when Matt Smith regenerated into Peter Capaldi, it was he finally trusted everyone around him and he was at peace with who he was, so he was comfortable being old again, displaying as an older person, because David Tennant and Matt Smith and Christopher Eccleston were all quite young in comparison to the classic series Doctors, who are all a lot older. So Peter Capaldi came in and it's sort of like, I'm comfortable now being myself, I'm old again. And then they tried to explain, we're not going to get into Doctor Who, but yeah, Billie Piper is, I'll see what they do with it. And then did you end up watching the first episode of that cop show I told you to watch?
No, I will. Department Q?
Department Q, Depth Q.
It.
It's a Scottish show based off a series of books that are, I think they're Danish or Dutch, from Denmark, wherever that is. What is that?
Denmark is Danish.
Danish, yeah. So Danish, I think, books. They're apparently pretty good. The show was very good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Is it finished?
It's only 1 season.
Oh, it's Netflix, so it's
Yeah,
binge.
bingeable.
Do you prefer binge format or?
Good question. I think it really depends on the show.
Yeah.
Like a lot of MCU shows, I feel like would benefit from the binge format, being able to watch it all in one sitting. Like Daredevil Born Again would have suited binge format a lot more than weekly.
Yeah.
I feel like big event shows like Invincible and The Boys for sure, like weekly suits better for those like big cinematic like. Yeah.
And also with Disney Plus shows like and all of the MCU ones, like if you release weekly, then fans will like make these expectations that are like so stupidly high that the finale will always disappoint. Like I remember with Hawkeye, people were saying that like Spider-Man would show up in the finale, and I was like,
people thought Mephisto was going to be the villain of WandaVision, which is just crazy.
Yeah, Marvel fans are kind of.
And they based it off the show being banned in China, and they're like, China doesn't let the devil appear in their media, so Mephisto has to be the villain of WandaVision, which I don't know. Yeah, but obviously that didn't happen.
What have you been playing? You've been playing
Claire Obscure so far. I am up to the second Axon, so almost finished. That's going to be our episode next week.
Yeah, I finished it like a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
and
it's still fresh in your mind. You're going to.
Oh yeah, I remember everything.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. State of Play is tomorrow.
Yes, 7 a.m. for us.
look out. You'll probably see some TikToks about State of Play before
definitely
this episode comes out. Just because
I'll wake up early. I'll wake up. I'll be up.
We can just record some our general thoughts.
Yeah.
Just put it out there.
And then also Summer Games Fest is on Saturday.
Today, Witcher 4 tech demo dropped.
Yes.
That looked pretty good. Obviously, they said that's not what the game is right now. That's what they're expecting it to be.
Yeah.
That's what you said, right?
Yeah. Which, I mean, either way, it looks like stunning.
Yeah,
you know,
it looked great, very good. And they said that was like flat 60 FPS as well. That wasn't even like a fidelity 30 FPS.
I always feel like with tech demos, you have to take them with a grain of salt.
Yeah, 100%.
But either way, if that's what they want the finished product to look like, if it looks like even similar or like relatively close, then I'll be happy with it because it's more of The Witcher. The Witcher is like one of my favorite like worlds. I think like it's just so cool.
I saw a comment. One of the top comments was like, "Can't wait for the game to open with Geralt getting his head bashed in with a club."
Yeah. Which, you know what, I think they've confirmed that he's in the game.
I would be so mad if Geralt died.
Yeah, I mean
that doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But we'll see what happens. I mean, like if he dies, fair enough, but like not in the first 45 minutes.
Look, I don't really have any like wants from this game other than just give me more of The Witcher.
Yeah.
I just love like even just being in the world and like taking contracts. Like I just love that shit. I always want like just a game where you make your own Witcher and you have there's no main storyline. You literally just have this big world, and it could even be like an MMO type of thing where you just take contracts. And that would be I just love that so cool. That formula. But The Witcher 4 seemingly, I mean the tech demo has Ciri doing a contract, so hopefully it's doing the similar
stuff. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Trying to think anything else. Recently we went shopping yesterday.
Yeah, we're going to Comic-Con.
Comic-Con in Red Dead Redemption 2. I was meant to be doing Dutch, but I don't think that's going to work out. Yeah. We'll see tomorrow.
So well, you're just gonna
I'll just do generic cowboy.
That's fair. I think I'm gonna do Javier Escuela because his clothes are easy to do, and I'll probably have to just get a mustache, shave this shit. I mean, it's not that good anyway, but I like the fact that in every if I shave and just have a mustache, next podcast
you're gonna look different again.
I'll look different again. So I'm
gonna
do
a haircut.
Haircut. So first episode I look this way. The second episode I should just do that. I should just change something about my appearance.
I'm getting a haircut next week, but it's gonna be probably on Tuesday. Oh, so it might look different because I want to have a haircut before we go to How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes,
we're going How to Train Your Dragon opening night next
IMAX.
week.
I've never seen a movie in IMAX, so I'm fucking hyped.
You've seen How to Train Your Dragon, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
multiple times. Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Are you excited for this live action movie?
I am. I don't think there's any way that I'm gonna prefer it over the original animated film.
Yeah.
But I like dragons. Like dragons are my thing. I love dragons.
Yeah.
I think the story of How to Train Your Dragon is really just. We'll talk about this in the episode.
Yeah,
the story of How to Train Your Dragon, like it's such a great
Very
story,
good story,
such a like simple storytelling, and it just works so well. And seeing it on a massive screen with IMAX quality, like it's gonna be really.
They just need to justify why telling that great story again in live action is worth it. But
look, honestly, even the spectacle of seeing for me at least, just seeing all of the dragons, like
true, I guess.
But I think it is that from what I've heard from people seeing early screenings, the first act is relatively like 1-to-1, and then it starts to put its own twist on things, which I've always said. My main hope for that is like they know what happens in the second and third. They know Hiccup's mum is alive. Like give Stoic his reasoning. Let him talk about how he thinks his wife was murdered by dragons. Let him talk about these other people out there that use dragons as weapons and they need to get rid of as many as they can because they want to don't just have it be I hate dragons. Like give him the things that you know about him from writing the first 3 movies and bring him out, flesh him out straight away in the first movie.
They can have the world building from all three movies into one movie and have it be more,
Yeah, and which I think would be really cool. But we will see what happens.
Yeah. Like if you're watching this 2 weeks later, then
because we won't have time to do it before because we're watching it the day before we're meant to release our episode.
Yes. So, unless we just did an all-nighter, but I'm too old for that now.
Yeah, way too old.
We're
like
do that.
27.
27,
Yeah.
No. It wouldn't. We're too old.
Can't do that. Alrighty. Well, can you think of anything else to touch on?
Play Life is Strange too, but that's about it. I think everything else.
At some point. Summer Games Fest is on the weekend as well.
Yeah.
That's on Saturday, yeah?
Saturday.
So the day after this episode releases is Summer Games
Fuck
Fest.
ton of developers showing games there. So hopefully...
The people that made the Persona games, right?
Oh, please. Alright, so let me just quickly give you my 3 main games. I want to see Persona 6. I want to see Persona 4 Remake. Rewind is my theory for what they're going to call it. And I want to see
4?
Kingdom Hearts 4.
Is their studio on the list?
Yeah, Square Enix is on the list. So either...
They released images recently.
That's what I'm saying. So either Kingdom Hearts 4 or Final Fantasy 7 Part 3, like the remake trilogy.
Or Final Fantasy 17.
I don't think... Oh, it's 2025. Yeah, maybe.
Because it came out 2023, 16.
Yeah, there's going to be a 17 at some point. I'm sure they're working on it.
They might just announce it even.
Maybe.
Do you reckon any intergalactic stuff?
Maybe.
Is Naughty Dog on the roster?
I don't think so. Sony is. So
Okay.
maybe... I think. I haven't actually looked at the roster.
Insomniac's got to show us something soon. It's been so long.
Yeah, bro, I don't know. Wolverine...
Spider-Man 2 came out 2023, right?
Yeah, and I think in like the leaks that happened, Venom was meant to come out this year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they've scrapped that or whatever they've done.
I just want to see stuff about Wolverine.
Yeah,
They announced it all the way back in like 2020?
Yeah. 2021 was when that show.
They announced Wolverine before Miles Morales, right?
No, after.
After?
They announced, so in that PlayStation showcase, they announced Final Fantasy 16, Wolverine, and Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Like all in one. It was fucked.
Okay.
It was hectic.
Well, I just want something to do with the Wolverine game.
Yeah.
We have those
I
leaks, which the leaks look really fun. Like they look like it's going to be a great game. So I want to see.
Yeah. Wait, maybe Final Fantasy 16 didn't get revealed in that same. I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter. Who cares? It's past.
Yeah. But
Yeah. I think that's everything.
I think so.
Alright, guys. Thanks for listening. No.
All right.
The main topic of
let's get
today.
into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah. The beans.
Bring Her Back. A24, directed by
RackaRacka.
Danny and Michael Philippou.
Filippo?
From our country, Australia.
I thought they were born in New Zealand.
Yeah, but they're like everyone's calling them Australian filmmakers.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I don't know if even if they were, are they? I'm pretty sure they have lived most of their life in South Australia. So
probably, yeah. I mean, they filmed this movie in South Australia.
Yep.
So,
what's your? Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, before we get to Bring Her Back, you want to quickly touch on Talk to Me?
Yes.
Because Talk to Me is phenomenal.
Did you watch RackaRacka before Talk to Me came out?
I didn't watch them like religiously, but I would watch them from time to time.
Yeah.
I really liked their They used to do these like. Obviously, they're known for their short like stunt films.
Yeah.
But they do these like
Ronald McDonald?
No, not the Ronald McDonald stuff. Like
I
just
love
these
those.
generic like in the middle of a random video, they would do like wrestling stunts, and I remember one really vividly where they threw one of their friends through their like backyard glass door, and like all the glass shattered, and they just actually like and they do it for real because like they'd show that they went to the hospital and they had like, and I just thought they were crazy.
Yeah, no.
They're obviously extremely funny.
Of course.
They're like I put it like I feel like they were obviously it's different sort of genres in the way that they make their skits, but they're like what Superwog was for the people back then.
Yeah.
Because obviously we have Superwog now. I mean, I've never really watched Superwog, but
I mean, yeah. Well, Superwog, yeah. Superwog's been around for a while, but RackaRacka, like, very similar in the, like, humor, I guess?
yeah.
I don't know. They were just.
I mean, speaking of Superwog, one of the actresses from one of their skits is in Bring Her Back.
Yeah, well, RackaRacka is in one of the Superwog videos. So.
Are they?
They are, but like they were made like there's just a fight scene with the characters from Superwog where like you can tell it's RackaRacka doing it.
Oh, okay.
Like it suddenly becomes really high budget like action scene, and
That's
they're like,
cool.
what the fuck?
That's
but yeah,
cool.
no.
But yeah, when Talk to Me first got announced, what were your initial like? Reactions?
I knew that I recognized the name like RackaRacka instantly, so I'm like, oh, that's sick. Like they're doing a film.
Because the marketing for Talk to Me. Like, it doesn't say directed by RackaRacka. It says directed by Danny and Michael Philippou.
But
And I remember seeing those names and be like, isn't that RackaRacka?
Yeah.
Googling it, seeing that it was RackaRacka, and then I was like gassed. I was like, this looks like really good.
And the trailers were really well cut too. Like,
and then Talk to Me. I still remember watching it for the first time. I was like, I really liked that movie. I think Talk to Me that came out 2023.
I think I didn't watch it in the cinemas. I watched it like later, like I think a year after it came out.
Really? Just at home?
On holiday, but and it was fucking disturbing. I just remember because like the hype had died down obviously because it had been out for a while, but I still knew like, oh, it's Talk to Me by RackaRacka. I gotta watch it. and then like I wasn't expecting it to like go as hard as it did, in a way where like I wasn't like like when you're going into a horror movie, you're like going in like knowing that you gotta prepare. I was just watching it, and I'm like, and like randomly the kid starts fucking smashing his head on the table. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But like very very good movie.
Talk to Me is great. Bring Her Back is also very good. Which one would you say do you prefer more?
I prefer Bring Her Back. Bring Her Back. I don't know.
I think they're both so just like tight and neat.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me to put one above the other because like I'd go like, oh, I like how depressing Bring Her Back is, but then I'd go, but to be fair, Talk to Me is like
pretty depressing.
Pretty fucking.
I'd say Bring Her Back is almost more depressing. Oh,
Bring Her Back.
I mean, sorry. Talk to Me is almost more depressing.
I feel like Talk to Me really only affects. I'm gonna say only affects one person, which is Riley is the character's name, the main girl from Talk to Me.
Piper.
No, Piper is the girl from Bring Her Back.
Oh, you're talking about Talk to Me.
Yes,
sorry.
Riley is the girl from
They need to change their names. It's too like fucking.
Anyway, so Riley, and then obviously the kid that gets possessed and fucks his head up.
Yeah.
Obviously he doesn't walk away unscathed, but I feel like everyone else relatively like walks away unscathed. It's really all about Riley and everything she's going through,
with her dad.
And that's where the depression comes from. In Bring Her Back, it's like every character in that movie is, there's really only 4 characters. You got the social worker, Laura, Andy, and Piper.
That's another thing I really like. That like Bring Her Back was like more contained. Like it was like almost
so,
entirely
like,
at the house.
Bubble, like it was really,
which like
really like
works well in many ways because like the house is framed by this circle, right? So it's like you cannot
have such
leave.
a sense of where things
You're framed
are
into
the
this
house.
thing. Yeah.
It sets up the rules so early that the bad thing, the thing that can hurt you, with the Ollie, can't leave this border.
Yeah.
But then you've also got like the rooms in the house are all very clearly like laid out through the camera work and just watching the characters walk around. So
a lot of windows. So like the pool is always visible.
Yeah.
Which is
really cool. I think my main thing when it comes to comparing the two, and you can obviously disagree with this if you want, I think Talk to Me definitely, the cinematography in Talk to Me is better. Like individual shot wise, I think Talk to Me has a bit more artistry to it, which obviously it's made by the same people, so it's not really like an insult, I guess, to say Bring Her Back doesn't have as much. But like the shot of the kangaroo on the road, top down, if you remember in Talk to Me, there's like a match cut where she's in bed and the camera like whips up with her and she walks out of her bed and starts kissing the guy, and then it cuts and she's actually kissing like one of the ghosts. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I think they really were showing off that they did have the source with Talk to Me. And I think Bring Her Back definitely has some really great shots too, like the following her hand in the glass. And I really like how Bring Her Back is it's a lot more still. Like it just lets you sit with what's happening. Like especially with the visceral like practical effects, which in both movies, obviously they were known for their visual effects, but also their practical stunts and how great those
That's where
were.
Bring Her Back shines, I think.
I think the practical effects of Bring Her Back are insane. Just it does not cut away once when he's biting that table or that knife. Or any of people who haven't seen the movie are going to be like, what the fuck are they talking about? So we should do a quick rundown of what Bring Her Back is about and just our general, I guess, review of it.
Well, the thing is, I didn't really know anything about the movie.
We both tried to go in completely blind because the reason I did is because I just knew I loved Talk to Me so much. I was like, I don't want to know anything about this movie. Because people are always saying, if you know nothing about a movie and you watch it, it'll be better. And I'm like, I want to test that out. So all I really knew was that it was foster kids and something to do with like a scary mum figure.
Well, the title kind of like gives you a hint, but
and the poster.
Yes.
With Ollie's like the possessed eyes. But it's, if you don't know anything about Bring Her Back and you've made it this far, stop, go watch it, come back. If you don't care, so we follow Andy and Piper, who their dad sadly passes away from, we assume, because his face has those like things on him. So we think he was either really sick, drug overdose, or just flipped in the shower.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why they'd go to the effort of having, or maybe that was from like him being in the water so long, but like it doesn't make sense because that wouldn't make the cysts and like all that stuff. Yeah. So maybe he was just sick. I'm not too sure. And then they get put into a foster home with Laura, played by Sally Hawkins. Amazing performance. So good. She's the mum from the Paddington movies. And then it kind of goes from there. You find out that she has this other kid with her that's a bit
Oliver
is selectively mute.
Yeah,
she calls it. So he doesn't talk.
He's got this weird birthmark.
Yep. Always has this look on his face, like this deadpan, like expressionless look. He's great. That kid did such a good job.
Yeah, he's a crazy. I think he filmed that when he was 10.
No idea, but that performance was insane.
Yeah.
I had a watching him, I couldn't look away.
Yeah.
He was at those screams that he has later into the movie. They're just phenomenal.
Yeah. I don't think there was a bad performance in this movie. Like everything, every single character was
I don't think there was a bad thing about this movie. Like I can't pinpoint anything that I was like, oh, they could have done that a bit differently. One of our friends said that she felt that the ending was rushed a bit, which I can understand, but I also saw that as like shit was hitting the fan. She needed to do it then, or else she would have no chance to do it at all.
It's like she's getting put in a corner, so she
she attacks and she just carries out her plan, which is essentially her daughter is dead and she wants to bring her back through this ritual.
Which I love that they never explain like fully where this ritual comes from, like what the actual part, like you get a sense of like how to do it, but like they never like give you like a step-by-step
explicit talking to some old lady that has done it before and she's reading out from a book the steps and the
same thing with the hands from Talk to Me. Like it's always that just implied
because they don't boggle themselves up with law. The law and trying to make it make sense and make it cohesive and make it fit in with continuity. They just say this is something that exists in our world.
Yeah,
because the characters in both films, they don't need to know why it works.
No.
Like, Riley in Talk to Me doesn't need to know why the hand is letting her speak to her mum again. All she cares about is I get to speak to my mum again. I don't care why. Laura, in Bring Her Back, she doesn't need to know if this ritual is legit. All she hears is, there's a way I can get my daughter back. I don't want to look into it. I'm just going to hope and go for it.
Which I like that there's like a through line between these two films, that these like mysterious, like the dark, twisted, whatever they come from, is like not almost like drowned out by human emotion. So like grief is what is like important to these characters, not I need to get to the bottom of why this is they don't care.
They don't care.
And the film doesn't care. The film isn't
there's a bug.
The film doesn't like you said, bother to like
take the
bog
time,
down
which it really doesn't need to. Like
no,
I wasn't sitting there going, I want to know why this is happening. Like I was just like, I think the VHS tapes of
they did
the
enough.
Ritual,
yeah,
they definitely did enough. I was gonna say they reminded me of Sinister, like the tapes that Ethan Hawke watches of the families getting killed in various different ways, like eerily creepy. Great, just really good visuals, like communicating. And
they do really well to inform Laura's character as well, because when Ollie gets dragged out of the circle and he's like, the spirit gets taken away, you see her looking at the tape to like figure out how to do it. You get to see that she's not like a fucking expert at this. She's like, like you see how desperate she is in this thing that she's doing 100%. Behind everyone's backs.
And we spoke about earlier, we're not the first people to bring this up, but her having a taxidermy dog at the start, like that. That's just a very simple way of showing she doesn't handle death.
Yeah, she has an inability to let go.
Yeah.
Which
she wants to stuff her dog. She wants to bring her daughter back.
Bring her daughter back, yeah. Like, and also it's like almost like eerily similar that like the dog is taxidermied, right? And her daughter's frozen in a thing. Like it's almost similar. Like you're frozen in a state of like
can't move.
Yeah.
It's like trying to preserve what's gone.
Yeah.
Which is that it's just really great.
Yeah, it's a really good
through lines. Like they have multiple. Like the line about their dad catching like, oh, you know, you don't go to heaven with a funeral or with this, you just catch a plane, and then at the end of the movie,
when
you see Piper look up at a plane in the sky.
Yeah, that was really nice.
That's a really good thrill.
I really liked, like, about the cinematography again. I really liked the shots where you're like behind Piper, and then everything is out of focus. Like everything is just shapes, which is what Piper's vision is like. Which is like, it's a good way to not be like campy and like just have it be POV, but like it's like you're showing what she's seeing without actually showing it. You know what I mean?
Speaking of shots, like really simple shots that I liked so much was just the I don't know what they would like, the long shots just with Ollie's silhouette, the back of him as the focus, and him just watching, and it just sits on him as the characters are doing their own thing inside, and he's just not moving, just staring, and you don't even see him staring, but you know he's staring because you're just seeing him still as a statue. Like great filmmaking, like really good. Let's talk about the things that people have been saying would be the disturbing parts of this film. Obviously the knife.
Yeah, that looked anyway. The knife scene was
the knife
that took me
unexpected,
fucking surprise.
So unexpected.
Yeah.
When people said it was gonna be disturbing, I was expecting like gore, right?
Yeah.
Like that is like, I did not think in a million years that anyone like the Terrifier movies don't even think of that stuff, because it's like it's something so painful but so like it would never cross your mind. Eating a kitchen knife, like it would never cross your mind. So the fact that it crossed their minds, like they're
fucked up.
They should make a Terrifier movie. That would be fun.
Oh, that would and I love that like it doesn't like shy away from the violence. Like when it like the knife splits into Ollie's lip, like they even zoom in on it. Like they're like showing, because the thing is like you're getting traumatized by this because Andy's getting traumatized by this. Like they do really well with the violence, and like it's never I mean it is grotesque, it's never gratuitous. It's always like
it's
purposeful.
done for a purpose. Even when Ollie is like ripping off his own skin and all of that, it's like it's doing that to show you as a viewer, it's getting you in the mindset of like this is getting to the end of its line. He's this hungry that he's eating the flesh off his own body. That was that. Like, you know, the clock is ticking.
I think Ollie's transformation throughout the movie is my favorite part of it. Like seeing him, and also another thing, and bloodier, and like more fucking deformed, like his beer belly. He has like a birthmark underneath his eye at the start of the movie, and it goes away, I think, at the end. And I think the birthmark, because I was watching an interview with RackaRacka, and they were saying that like, I think it means like that shows up when you're first possessed by the demon. But I don't know. I just think it looked cool.
Like, it looked cool. It could, or maybe it's something like the consuming the life force of someone else. But no, but it was gone before he ate.
Exactly.
Kathy? Gone before he ate Kathy.
I think it would have been cool if like they established that Ollie, like in the missing poster, the kid, I forget what his Connor Bird. It would have been cool if they show that he's got the birthmark, like originally, that was him. And then by having the birthmark disappear throughout the movie, it's like the demon is taking more and more away. But like that doesn't make the film worse. That it's not like that. It's just like an
interesting thing. I like that Connor in Ollie is able to, like the scene before he eats the knife where he writes bird on the... That bug is gonna piss me off. He writes bird on the...
I didn't get it. I'm not Spider-Man.
On the fucking notepad, and it's like half an hour later you see Connor Bird missing through Andy's eyes, and you make the connection the same way he makes the connection. Like the second he sees that poster and he sees Connor Bird, you make the he wrote bird, but you make like it's like you're with Andy in that same moment. So it's not just like the violence that you're connecting with, it's everything. Every realization Andy has is you have it at the same time. We apologize for the tunes in the background. Where I didn't think about that.
It shouldn't be that loud.
No, it's okay. No, it doesn't shut. Wait, I'm gonna shut the door. We'll see if it works. See if it helps.
It hit the shelf.
That's
sorry. When the music plays, you start screaming.
It's not as loud.
Not as bad.
That's a tech guy pointed that out. Good job.
Thank you, tech guy.
Thank you, tech guy.
Tech guy, do you want to say you're welcome?
You're welcome.
There we go.
Oh, he
His
speaks.
first 2 words.
What were we
He's
speaking? Oh
not
yeah,
mute.
Connor Bird. And then I also really liked at the end of the movie, which I think we'll touch on that whole ending after this. He picks up the missing poster and whatever ounce of I don't know if it's an ounce of Connor that's left in that sees himself and pushes him out the line, or if it's the demon or angel or whatever is in that and seeing himself, seeing the body that he is in and going like having empathy. No, but it wouldn't. What if it's this literally just came to me as I was speaking about that, because he consumes Kathy's body, he's got Kathy's spirit in him ready to purge.
Yeah.
What if it's Kathy?
Maybe.
But how would Kathy know what? Oh, because of the water, right? He was in the water, so he knows what the vessel she's in now looks like, sees it on the missing poster, and decides to let him go. That could be what it's implying. Maybe. I don't know. It could. I think it could work as any.
It could be anything. I like that it's not like
it's open to interpretation.
Yeah, you just kind of assume what.
We'll talk about that. The whole ending, starting with the social worker getting fucking like going flying when she gets hit by the. She would have had to have gotten cut in half, like when. With
she went. Yeah, she like was dead straight away. Andy though wasn't as lucky. He got fucking.
He got drowned in a puddle.
Which I like that the mom is drowning Andy. And then you know, drowning is a fucking
very
common.
I think it's just another layer of sadness that he died hearing rain, which is a similar sound to a shower.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie they very like not subtly. It doesn't need to be subtle, which I like. I think there's a time and place for subtlety, and it's as subtle as it needs to be that they're not saying it out loud. Just the shower constantly being something that he struggles with because his dad died in the shower. Yeah. Which I think, and having him die hearing water is a great, just a great end for him if it was going to end in any way.
When he saw the dad in the shower, he said rain, like something like.
Yeah, his dad brought up. He said Piper's gonna die in the rain.
Die in the rain.
Yeah, like he was caring more about his sister.
So like, imagine like when he's dying and he hears the rain, he's like probably all he was thinking about was Piper
is gonna die now. Yeah.
Because he thinks that the social worker is dead. I'm dying. No one's gonna stop it.
My sister's blind.
Like, which is, just one of the tragedies of the film. Like, it just happens. You can't really change anything about that.
And then, on that as well, actually, on that scene, Tech Guy, I like that it kind of shies away from the traditional, like, you see a dead person, it's going to be, like, it's kind of like a somber, like, not somber might not be the right word, but it's like almost, not endearing. Endearing is the wrong word as well. Not gonna get it. If we don't get that by the end of the episode, we're quitting.
Yeah.
I don't know what word to use, but I like that it's not like some scary, menacing scene. It's just his dad has reached out through. It's almost as if the Ollie eating his dad's hair gave his dad the gateway to come and.
Well, yeah, because it is Ollie, right? He's like hallucinating, but Ollie's the one in the room with him.
I don't know,
because it quickly cuts to Ollie when he falls. Like he hits his head, and then it cuts to Ollie. Yeah, like it's his dad standing over him, and then it's Ollie, and then it cuts to him in the hospital.
Possibly, but I like.
But it still works what you said about the spirit.
I like that it's kind of a mislead. You think that at this point we've learned that Andy's dad was abusive and not a great dad to Andy. So you think it's probably going to be something along those lines of scary scene, but it's a heartfelt, like he really is just trying to help Piper. He's warning you.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing that kind of makes Andy such a sad character, because he like got abused by his dad and sidelined because he preferred Piper. Same thing happens with Laura. Even the social workers don't trust him. Like he just gets like beat down the whole movie, and he like that's why he dies. Like he does the right thing and he gets killed for it. But in doing the right thing and sacrificing himself, Piper can,
that voicemail that he leaves Piper is so good. Like, such a great piece of acting from that young man. Like, such a great piece of writing. Like, that's a great. Such a it's a really sad, like, tragic story.
Yeah.
which is
and I think
so
it needs
good.
to be in a film about someone trying to deny grief.
Yeah.
You need to have.
The longer you put off your grief, the more it's gonna take control of you, which I think they've said not big inspiration, but a reason for coming up with this story and writing this story is they had a cousin who had a child that passed away, if I'm not mistaken, and watching that person, how grief affected them, brought the idea to their brains. Well, what are the extents someone would go to because of grief? How far would someone go because of grief? And I'm pretty sure that's who the film is tributed to at the end, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. I tried to Google who it was, but it wouldn't pop up, so I'm assuming it might be that child that unfortunately passed away. What else? The part where she's drowning Piper. So her, for people who need context, Laura's previous child, Kathy, died by drowning. It's heavily implied that her actual birth child was also blind, like Piper, which is why she wanted another blind child to put Laura's body into. Not Laura, Kathy's body into. So part of the ritual is you need to kill the host for the spirit in the same way that the spirit passed away. So she's drowning Piper. At this, the water has to be the exact same level it was. Like, she's very particular about it, with great foreshadowing the whole movie as well. Like marking the wall in the pool, checking the rain forecast, all of that stuff. Great. And then anyway, so she's drowning Piper, and then in like her last ditch effort, comes out of the water and says, "Mum." I've seen online discourse, people either think that that is genuinely Piper saying "mum," or it is Kathy's body in the process of possessing Piper that comes out and says "mum," which I think, with the rules that the tape's set up pretty clearly, it has to be purged into them for the other spirit to take over. So I don't know how Kathy would be in Piper's body at that point. So I'm of the belief that it's Piper saying "mum."
It could also just be in Laura's mind.
It could be in
like
Laura's
as
mind.
She's drowning her. Like Piper maybe doesn't even say anything, but she just hears that. But that would also take away the thing of like, because Laura earlier in the film is like, I would do anything to hear my daughter say "mum" one more time,
and also asks Piper, "Would you call me mum?" And Piper says no. So it's like, I think it gives a lot to Piper's character and her intelligence that she was able to remember that moment and is able to have that last ditch effort and call her mum. I also like that Laura being called mum, it's like reminds her you are a mum. Like just because your daughter passed doesn't mean that you're not a mother anymore. It doesn't mean that you're like a failure of a mother. It doesn't mean any of those things. You don't need to be doing this. Like, as much as you miss your daughter, you're taking away someone else's daughter, even though obviously her dad and
it's kind of her surrogate daughter, right?
Yeah,
like
it's her foster daughter.
You're trading in one to save another, which is just
not. Obviously, people racked with grief probably make those deals in their head all the time. Like, whose life would I give for theirs back? But it's a dangerous game to play, you know, which the movie
shows very clearly.
Do you think she is going to drown in the pool at the end, or do you think she's going to be arrested by police?
I think she was arrested, because when that scene was happening, like the bird's eye view, you can see that the pool is only like at her knee level. Like she's not like.
But it is still raining quite heavily.
Yeah, true. But the police had already been closing in on her, so I doubt they would just let her drown.
Would you prefer she drown, or would you prefer police?
I think probably police, because she did do a lot of fucked shit.
I'm on the drown side. I think that's just a great like circle narrative. Like,
so she kills herself
with
her daughter. I guess, but
because it's like sort of like the movie's called Bring Her Back, and then to me it's like, in the end, instead of trying to bring her back, I'm gonna go to her.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like then
realistically,
I like that
the police would pull her out of the water and arrest her.
I like the concept of like the circle, like frames the house, right? When like Piper gets out of it, and then Ollie does as well. They're breaking that cycle, and so the same thing with Laura. She's not gonna continue, you know, with this death thing. She's gonna face her consequences, and obviously she'll get probably in jail for the rest of her life. But at least, you know, she's done with this demonic shit, hopefully. Well, I don't know. Maybe and bring her back part 2.
I want to quickly touch on we brought this up after we watched the movie. It's pretty like feasible for Talk to Me and Bring Her Back to take place in the same.
I'm pretty sure it is like confirmed. I think,
which would be it. Like,
would be cool.
There's no reason why it can't. Like, it's not conflicting.
I mean, they're both in Australia.
Both in Australia. Both deal with supernatural
elements. Do you have any theories as to what these things are?
Because we were gonna. Yeah. Your thing that you said, I thought was really cool. They're Australian movies. If they were pulling from indigenous culture, I think that would be really, really cool.
Yeah, like, maybe not like full like
like the rainbow serpent isn't about to pop out.
Yeah, but like just like having it be like these evils are rooted from indigenous like
culture. Take their stories and use it, especially because you're telling like stories on Australian land in Australian films. It would just be a nice. Like, it just would make the most sense.
It would make sense.
Like, when you movies that are like Korean horror films or Japanese horror films usually pull from Korean culture and Japanese culture, then American horror movies pull from like American. There's not really like American.
They'll just take from like
culture,
other cultures.
but like they have like the slasher villain, which is just like a American who got done wrong.
Yeah.
And then you got other countries pull from their cultures.
Yeah, Spanish horror movies pull from
many things. Like La Llorona and all of that.
That's Mexican. Yeah. Go.
Is that Spain?
No,
that's Mexican.
It's fine.
Is it Mexican?
Yeah, it's alright. It's fine. Yeah.
Alright. Anyways, but yeah, it would make Australian culture any sort of like. If you're going to bring in Australian culture, it's going to have to be from Indigenous, Aboriginal, and Torres Strait Islander stories.
I think it would be cool.
I think it would be very cool, and there are some very haunting things in in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island like stories. You can find extremely scary ones.
Yeah.
That I think can be pulled from really, really well. So yeah, that's our working theory.
Yeah.
What do you think their next film's gonna be?
Okay, we got Talk to Me. We got Bring Her Back,
which have both been horror films. They left Street Fighter. So we know they're not doing Street Fighter at the moment.
Yeah.
We know that there is a Talk to Me prequel already filmed and done, ready to be released, which I believe takes place completely through camera phones, which would be cool.
I would obviously watch anything they do, regardless, but I would want them to do another horror. I think this is like
start off with a trilogy of
horror films, and then they can move on to a different genre. I don't think that the third movie has to like tie into Bring Her Back and Talk to Me. Just like
doesn't,
you know.
I mean, in a lot of interviews, they've got lots of things written. They said they wrote a romantic comedy that they have just ready.
Yeah.
And I think like they're clearly extremely talented when it comes to writing. A big part of why their films are so good to me, it's like they take such simple. I mean this in the most like complimentary way. They keep things simple.
Yeah.
Like they know what their themes are. They know, like it's almost cookie cutter-esque.
Yeah, but they know how to get to the goal in the most efficient way.
It makes sense. Get rid of all the blog. Like, you look at Talk to Me, it's so simply like possession, allegory for
addiction,
drug addiction, or just addiction in general. You know, dead mum, girl wants to speak to her. Like, it's such everything just falls into place so simply. And it's just like, of course that's going to happen because that's the most feasible, realistic way this would fit into this person's life if it actually happened. Same thing with Bring Her Back. Like if a mother who already struggles with letting life go loses her daughter and then she finds out there's a way to get her back, she's going to go to whatever length possible to get her back. And they just take the camera with that and just show it, which I think is really, really good. I also really admire them for making this film as dark as it is and not trying to give it a happy ending. I like that Andy dies.
They're very real movies.
Yeah,
and I love that they're one of the only horror movies I can think of where like character is their main focus. Like in most horror films, it's always like the scares or what they want,
trying to have like
but the
a
thing
convoluted lore. Or like,
but I feel like when you're so invested in the characters of a horror film,
because you're scared
more
for them
scared
because
you're invested. That's what. Yeah, I just think they have like such a good like
grasp for character writing. Yeah. And their formula as well. They don't. I wonder how they tackle something like non-linear. Like if they took their hand at something that jumps around in time, I think they could do.
They could probably
really
do it
well
pretty
with
well.
Do you reckon, I like he says talk to me in Bring Her Back.
Yeah,
surely they have to say bring her back in
yeah.
third movie.
Like as simple as like someone just like a girl walks away and like, hey, bring her back, bring her back. Yeah.
Like,
and then it just so like
simple.
Pens on the guy. It just stays there as he says it for like 5 minutes.
Well, because 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Andy says, I'll talk. No, he says if you want, I'll give you this so you can talk to me. Like he says talk to me.
Yeah.
Which
like is a very normal phrase. You know, same as bring her back.
It doesn't fit. It's not awkward at all, but everyone recognized it when he said it. Like, it was a very cookie cutter, like, not cookie cutter, why do I keep saying cookie cutter? It just made, like, no one sat there like, why, It was more, he said talk to me. Like,
do you think third movie should have, like, I feel like, I like that the names are very, like, generic, like, you would just say that in everyday life because it adds to the feeling, like, these are normal people in these things, you know what I mean?
Well, they've both had a possession element so far. The first one has been the hand possession and how you can be getting, like, it's about addiction. The second one's about grief.
Inability to cope with the grief.
Third one
could be
like, if we're just pulling straws here, like trauma.
Yeah, I was about to say PTSD.
And
maybe
finding some way to using some supernatural thing to cope with your PTSD.
Yeah. If our indigenous theory is wrong, or even if it's right, they could go down a religion route.
Yeah, but also they haven't really had religion in the first two films.
And also it is a bit overplayed in horror.
Yeah, and I think I love religion. I'm religious, but I think using religion in your horror film is not a cop out, but it's like
if you do it well, I think
if you do it well, it can. I mean, but what's a religious horror film that you think does it well?
Good question. The Exorcist, probably.
Yeah, The Exorcist. That's a good answer. I can't think of any others. There's I can't think of any.
Veronica. It's a Spanish horror film. Watch it. It's very good.
That film is extremely terrifying. I can't think of any other films at the top of my head that do religious horror really well.
But yeah, I don't think they would.
Yeah, I don't think they would either, because they clearly don't need to. Like, they have their things that work.
Honestly, I'm not at a stage where I'm like with the next film, I'm just like eagerly like I don't care what it is. I just want it.
It could be about like a haunted pen, and I think it would be great. Like
pen pal. That's what they call it.
A haunted pen that when you pick it up, just possesses you to write like a murder story, and then
you have
that
to
actually happens.
Yeah, they could do that. The third movie has to be like a normal name, so it could be like open the fridge, or
open the door,
turn on the microwave.
Open
the door. Let me in. Oh, that's already a film.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
And
then the thing is the main villain. The thing. The thing is a fucking horror movie. No, The Thing is a horror movie. Have you seen the
John Carpenter?
Yeah.
That's a really good film.
So here's the thing.
And it's just like the Thing playing on their lounge room TV, and they just record it from their camera.
If the third movie is called Here's the Thing, we want at least 25% of the profits.
I want to be in it.
Yeah, actually,
we want to be in it,
and we'll sponsor. We'll be like, Here's the Thing Productions.
We'll say, Here's the Thing,
and tech guy can be
behind the camera,
cinematographer. You know,
he can say, "Hey, bring her back,
and hey, talk to me so we can bring her back." That's what he has to say.
She sure?
Tech guy doesn't sound like that, don't you, Tech guy? You don't sound like that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
See?
No.
Hey, leave a comment down below what race you think Tech guy is.
Yeah, you won't be able to guess.
You won't be able to guess it.
Yeah. And then we'll do a Tech guy face reveal at
What's our clock at right now?
53:22.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty decent.
That's pretty good. Well, do you have any other thoughts on the movie, or like at least like a general overview? Like if you had to sum it up to your mum.
All right, if we have to do a quick review for a clip on TikTok.
Yeah, you're right.
I think Bring Her Back was a great piece of filmmaking, very concise, tight writing. You sit down in that chair and it doesn't feel like your time is wasted. Doesn't feel like they waste a second of that film. Everything that happens feels intentional, and it feels like it's there to get the narrative to where they want it to be. If you have an issue with gore, this movie won't be too hard to watch, because you can tell when the gore is going to happen. You can very easily close your eyes and know when it's finished as well. Like, it's not like you're going to... No jump scares, not a single jump scare. Was there any jump scares in Talk to Me? There might have been one. In her dream sequence, I think there was one.
Maybe.
But Bring Her Back didn't have a single jump scare, so if you have a problem with jump scares, don't worry. Calling it a horror film, I think, is like it is. It's very easy to label it as a horror, but I personally wouldn't call it a horror film.
I mean,
like I think it's more like a drama. Be honest.
Yeah, but like I don't know. It depends on what you define as a horror film. Because I would call it horror because I was like
it's definitely horror.
Very uneasy the whole movie and like scared for these characters.
You're right.
Like horror is just the feeling of unease, right?
Like No Country for Old Men could be classified as horror every time that guy's on screen. Like,
Javier Bardem. He's I love him. Anyway, I think Bring It Back is as a film like so concise in its messaging, in its themes, like. The way it delivers the story to you, like through the frame of horror, is like just so good. Like the characters, you're so invested in that whenever these creepy and like horrible things are happening, it makes you even more scared because you're not only scared at what you're looking at, you're also scared for these people that like you've come to really like understand. The acting is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Every single actor like knocks it away. No bad performance at all. The costume design, like the effects, like the practical effects, like Ollie's transformation, without getting into spoilers, best part of the film.
Oh yeah, but this is TikTok. Yeah. Ollie's transformation is great.
Yeah.
The practical effects of that. What would you rate it out of 10?
Circles.
Circles
out of 10.
Circles.
That would make sense if you watch the movie.
I would rate it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
like I said earlier, like I know some people have a problem with just handing out 10s like that, but if I can't think of something I didn't like, even something small, like I can't think of a single minute small thing that I disliked.
And
about
10 doesn't
this
have
film.
to be perfect.
It just has to be good.
Like, very good.
But is it a stretch to say this film was kind of perfect? Like,
no, I don't think it's a stretch.
Their message is tight. It's a closed story. All the characters end like differently to how they started.
Yeah,
it's just a great piece of storytelling and filmmaking, and I think giving it a 10 is perfectly valid. Yeah, I agree. I think Bring It Back is a 10, and I hope that they continue to make more. They're going 100%. Yeah, them and A24 are like Ariesta and A24 at this point. Yeah. Okay, wait. Actually, this is a good question. I don't know if you've seen both of them. I haven't. I've only seen Midsummer, but the duo opening run of Ariesta, Hereditary, and then Midsummer. Do you think that's better than A24, than Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, as first two movies?
I haven't seen Midsummer.
See, I haven't seen Hereditary. I've seen Midsummer, but I haven't seen Hereditary.
I've seen the end of Hereditary. Look, out of bias, I'm gonna say Bring Her Back and Talk to Me, but like
honestly, I'm gonna put. We haven't seen. I haven't seen. We could do a reaction on Hereditary.
We could,
because I've never seen it.
Is Midsummer good?
Midsummer is very good.
Okay. Well,
really good. I'd put it in the same conversation as Talk to Me.
We'll watch it. I'll watch these movies that we haven't seen, and then we'll go back and revisit this
at
question.
Some point. Yeah. You can ask us during one of our live streams, which will eventually happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you think of anything else to quickly touch on before we say goodbye?
Nothing. I don't think. Go on our Spotify and subscribe,
listen,
follow, whatever it is.
Follow.
Yeah, follow. Because we have it there now. May as well use it.
Yeah, sweet. I meant about the movie.
Oh, yeah, good movie. Very good movie. 10 out of 10.
RackaRacka, if you want to come on the cast, if you want to come on the pod, our DMs are open.
Exactly. We'll talk about McDonald's, Ronald McDonald.
Oh my gosh, we could do a McDonald's mukbang with them.
We could.
So good.
Yeah, with Ronald McDonald's mukbang with Ronald McDonald, and then he kills us at the end. Then it'll be like all high production and shit. Clip that and send that to them.
We'll send it to your email.
Oh yeah, we're
Australian.
Yeah, we are Australian.
We live in Australia.
Yep.
We also are like we can give you. Hey, you heard that birthmark idea? Like that's some class.
See, we're writers. You know, we can give you some ideas if you want.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Or we can just be your yes man and be like, yeah, that's so good, man.
We'll suck you.
Suck the ideas out of your mind and put it on the page.
Yeah.
All right. Before we dig ourselves a hole, I think we should
say goodbye.
Wrap it up.
Alrighty. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for listening. We hope you enjoyed and got something out of this, whether it's entertainment or
pleasure.
You know, we don't mind. We've got some nice voices.
We do.
And we've got nice visuals too. In my opinion, we're pretty dapper.
Especially on the iPhone 16 Pro Max.
Yep. All right. For real though. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe. Claire Obscure next week.
Next episode.
The video game.
Play it.
Familiar yourselves with it so you can tune in next week. Follow us on Instagram. Here's the thing.etp. That's Instagram and TikTok. Be in the description. Follow us on Spotify. Will be in the description as well. DM us any questions or episodes you want us to make. We hope you have enjoyed listening, and we will catch you next week.
Adios.
Adios.